so you guys won't know what I'm talking about, but XP Coin, you mentioned about a couple of people. Paul Holman is definitely the guy who was involved with Yaroze. In fact, I'm at XP Coin. I hope you're listening, otherwise I'm talking rubbish and no one will understand it. But I'm actually slightly offended at the idea that they're talking to Phil Harrison. Because one, I've never really liked Phil Harrison, and two, he genuinely had nothing to do with Yaroze as far as I can see. He wasn't even on the scene at the time Yaroze was around. So Phil Harrison was a big guy at Sony, but he had nothing to do with the Yaroze. So why they would talk to him, I don't know. Right, so single player would have, we won't call it load world, it's actually going to be load save game now. New world. Then this would have an option of create new, it's called create new level. Nicely done, Rob. Right, let's start fixing this. Create new level. So what does this need to do? Right, so we've got this needs to go. So we're going to have an API that is scan. Oh, there we go. Reveal in sidebar. Create new level. Load level menu. Right, dio.file.list existing worlds. Right, so what I've got to do is I'm going to find that, and I'm going to have a list existing game modes, right? So I'm going to have to start breaking this here menu. Phil has been with Sony since launch. Yeah, he was around the Yaroze's launch. But what I mean, he wasn't on the scene was he was nothing to do with the Yaroze. He was never once mentioned. He had So getting him involved is slightly offensive to me. Creating level menu. I don't know what that's going to be. Create. He was head of SCEA. Yeah, he still had nothing to do with it. I suspect that he was head of SCEA. No, I don't think he was. No, I don't think he was head of SCEA. Not at the time, but whatever. I mean, he deserves no credit or reference for Yaroze. And he doesn't deserve any more... publicity. Right. On play level clicked. On game mode selected. On game mode clicked. am I imagining things? Probably imagining things. No, Kurzi Noir 7120. Thank you. Okay, so that's our new menu. List existing game modes doesn't do anything yet, but it will do. Let's try running this. No, I'm not a fan of Phil Harrison. New world. Right. What's the game mode path? The game mode path is nothing. Brilliant. Well done for using that, Rob. That was very clever. I think I just need to put... Oh, damn it. Game modes. Okay. Game modes. Right, I'm officially listing game modes as 2 words now. I said before, Phil Harrison was the reason that Sony stopped their executives having company credit cards for a while. Because instead of going home, he'd just check into really expensive hotels in London. Well done, man. Right, so that looks rubbish. So we're actually going to do this slightly differently. Because we don't want to just print that name. That's pretty naff. That is pretty darn naff. So the game modes itself is going to be a new table, and each one of these will be right. So new Lua new table. Folder. Oh yeah, that's a bit rubbish. Right, attempt to load the new saves, whatever it was. Can't remember. Forgotten already. Options. You were at SCE when the PS2 launched, yeah? Yes, I was there before that. Everybody at Sony got their PlayStation 2 the day before it was released, and it was quite funny because because of the hype around it, they were saying like, guys, you do not want to walk around with a PS2 box the day before release. So they were saying like, put it in your bags, and a load of us just went and put it in rubbish bags so that we could carry this home without being mugged. I remember seeing Time Splitters being played about several months before release, and 4-player split screen. I was just like, jaw dropped. Unbelievably good. One whole day. Yes, but we could have flogged it for like $4 grand or something. And some people did that. And it was funny because some of the very first PS2s did have hardware faults. And I think there was only like 2 games out for it, FIFA and Ridge Racer. And so people were buying Ridge Racer, but some of them had faulty CD drives. It was a very small number, like just well within the normal realms of mechanical failure for a new device. But people were talking about they were playing on their new PlayStation, and they'd be driving around the Ridge Racer level, and then the level just wouldn't load. So you'd carry on driving into nothing. What did I think of Yar Basic? Never used it. The very fact it was called Basic, like, no, wasn't going to touch it. I heard that it was limited, right? And that immediately put me off. Attempt to load the new saves options. Right. the SCE had it? Do you know why? I think it was to get around tax. If I remember correctly, there was some issue that you could either sell in the UK based as a console or as a home computer, and they attracted different forms of tax. So by including YAR Basic, it qualified as a home computer instead of a console, something like that. Now, my memory's a bit hazy, so I wouldn't say that's completely true, but I think that was partly the reason. Options file path, game modes folder, game modes index plus, new saves, options lua. What happens if it doesn't load it? It just asserts. Oh, that's no good. Right. So now I need to do so that game mode folder is correct, or is it? No, it's not. Sorry, I'm being an idiot. I need to use the options. Right. In fact, we're going to end up loading this twice, aren't we? Yeah, we are. Okay, well, we'll just get the title out. That's fine. Right, I'm writing a lot of code here. I mean, so there was a lot of fun that went through, that happened legally to do with the PlayStation 2, because the cell chip was so kind of powerful and stuff. If you remember, it actually got blocked from export to certain countries because it was considered a supercomputer. I actually don't think that was rumour. I think that was actually true. Because the rules on a supercomputer weren't being updated, right? Even in line with Moore's law, but parallel processing, yeah. Was it the cell chip or was that PS3? Can't remember. No, it was a PS2. Yes. The Emotion Engine. That's right. 2 vector units, and it was the PS3 that had the cell. Yeah. Okay, it's coming back to me now. Yeah. So the rendering chip in the PlayStation 2 was unbelievably fast. Now, it's obviously been outperformed by modern graphics cards, but it was more to do with the fact that it was so ahead of its time, and especially compared to the CPU it was attached to, it could just render and render. So, you know, the joke being that there's rendering and then there's the PS2 rendering. Yes. Did I get the PS3 a whole day early? I think some people did, but you had to actually buy them, whereas for the PS2 we got given them. So I didn't buy a PS3 in advance. But there was a case of loads of people bought PS3s and then immediately flogged it for 4 times the money. I think one of the guys said he sold it to somebody on top of a car park, and you're like, right, yeah, I'm surprised you're not dead. But right, if file exists, options file path. Yeah, there's no way this is going to work. Load the options file. We're just going to iterate through. We only want to find out the creative. Lure, raw set. Alright, oh. Right, so we're reading, we've got two lure states here. We're reading from one and popping to the other. Hey, it was cool to get the PS2 a day early, I'm telling you. There was such a feeling of excitement in the whole office to do with the PS2 launch. It was fantastic. Not really felt anything like it. Really, real vibe of building up towards something amazing. Even if we didn't have a launch game ourselves. Right. Get fields. To string lure. Yeah. So I don't need to pop that because actually we're going to ditch that lure state anyway. Lure table. I eventually bought the PS3 with the Perfect Dark Special Edition, and I played it, and I was so unimpressed with Perfect Dark that I just sold it. I sold the whole thing. Right. Alright, let's see if that works. It won't... oh, I need to change the lure. So I do need to... no I don't. Right, so we... game modes. On clicked. On game mode clicked. Self.gamemode.folder. Forget it. Just put a folder. Right, let's try that. New world, right. Hooray! Why is the folder not coming back with a trailing slash? Alright. I am surprised. Did you get the Xbox? I didn't get the original Xbox. I got the 360. Oh. Random seeder string. I've got some lure error. Oh yeah, I haven't got comma on those. That probably means my other one's broken as well. Creative Arena. Oh no, it is there. The original Xbox. To be honest, I was just not interested in it at all. What's it complaining about now? Attempt to call global world a nil value. What? Idiot boy.